And now we have the last part of South Asia, and we have speakers. For the first one, from friends from Nepal, Dr. Arjun Kari is unable to join us because of unexpected circumstance. However, Mr. Ranat Kari, the team leader of rural reconstruction movement in Nepal, will do presentation about their experience. Please, Mr. Ranat Kari.
Thank you very much. Me, Ratna Karki, I am speaking on behalf of Dr. Arjun Karki. The theme for today is RN's initiatives toward rural revitalization in Nepal. Can you go next, please? So, maybe you need to click more. Okay, thank you. Since this rural reconstruction Nepal, initially it was founded in 1989, but the name, official name, rural reconstruction, we set up in 1993, and subscribing the philosophy of this principle and credo of international rural reconstruction movement. And so far, from 1993, we could say from 89 also, 1989 also, but this we fully started with working with this international credo of rural reconstruction movement from 1993. And so far we have reached more than, we have worked more than 1 million households in Nepal in more than 65 districts. We worked so far out of 75 districts. Next slide, please. We should go again. Okay. Basically, RRN, Rural Reconstruction Nepal, is following this rural reconstruction credo, fourfold approach. And we have two strategies. This is one, rural development programs. Another is we have a strategy of developing and implementation of execution of rural development programs in different rural parts of the country. And another is research and policy advocacy that we have been doing, focusing this education and awareness and livelihoods, health, and this governance aspect of the people living in rural Nepal. So here we could see this our program that we are taking in two ways. One is to support for socio-economic empowerment of the rural people, and another is research and policy advocacy at national, international levels. Like RRN is the part, Rural Reconstruction Nepal is the part of ECOSOC, member of this United ECOSOC member. Then RRN also engaged in different forums and programs and policy advocacy with the UN, European Commissions, and different like government of the Nepal. And this RRN also hosting, has been hosting this LDC WAS and SAPI, this international secretariat. So, and also the part of this ISA based in Philippines. And beside all these organizations, there are many national and international this forum and organizations that RRN has been continuously engaged in policy research and advocacy based on its, there is two ways. One is that we work with rural community and the people And then another is we bring all those issues to the different international forums. Besides that, we also bring the upcoming issues. That could be right holding issues of the farmers and the this rural community. That we also bring those upcoming issues to the community. Next, please. Working modality. In fact, as I shared earlier, RRN has been working for the socio-economic development of the rural people in one hand, and another is the research and policy advocacy of the advocacy at the grassroots and international level. So we have stakeholders. We work with the marginalized indigenous community, mostly the women, children, and Dalits, and we also work with this local and national authorities and line agencies and funding partners and different networks. And major areas that we work is socio-economic empowerment, capacity building, capacity development enhancement, institutional development of the community and different organizations, and gender and social inclusion and governance and protection of human rights. These are the major areas that we have been working. And then we are also the expected result we have been we are looking, and we are having is sustainability of development intervention that we have been doing in different parts of the country for the last more than 25 years. Social transformation of the community and transformation and community resilience, adaptations of the innovations, and cohesiveness of the communities. These are this is mainly the stakeholders that we have been working from community level to different partners at national and international level, and these are the major issues and results that we are expecting, we are getting from the our intervention. Next slide, please. Sorry here. I don't know why. What is this is blocking here now. Anyway, the major the people or community that we are working. The people is. Could you please go for next also? There are some pictures. Yeah. The rural women, smallholders, indigenous and local communities, rural youth, children, and adolescents, girls, especially the people in rural areas. We have been working for the socio-economic empowerment, for the especially for the socio-economic empowerment of those communities, and all these our intervention, our efforts is bringing towards the welfare and well-being of the rural communities, and that is contributing for the rural revitalization again. Can you please, yeah. We could see some of this picture that mostly we are focusing, we are working with the rural women and the people, rural people, and for the education of the children, targeting the girls who are not assessed with the basically quality education, formal education, and the people in rural areas. Next slide, please. As I shared earlier, already that we are focusing, we are targeting mostly mostly for the socio-economic empowerment of the underprivileged or the rural people in different parts of the country. And then one major component is livelihoods. We are promoting for the livelihoods based on we call pro-organic or sustainable agriculture. So out of our intervention, we have got that we are practicing this organized farming on the part of smallholders. Smallholder meaning that in the case of Nepal, there is a unlike in other countries like in Japan, Korea, or even in China, we have the farmers are they are mostly smallholders, and going them for the commercial agriculture or business-oriented farming is very difficult if they go for alone. So we have been practicing, we have been promoting them to go for organized way of the farming, like particular number of farmers or in particular area there could be a small piece of land, by different farmers. But if they go for organized way of farming, that could turn into this business-oriented farming. So, like here we could see this cabbage farming and this cabbage or cauliflower and many vegetables and different other crops that could be produced locally. And we are always focusing for organic farming. So promoting this kind of organized way of farming that is contributing to turn this subsistence farming farming to business-oriented farming, so that people they have been they are being able to raise the to improve the employment opportunity in the villages and also entrepreneurship development. So it has also retained the youth in agriculture sector. Generally, youth they don't want to stay retain in agriculture sector because of this lack of one hand is technology and another is lack of incomes that they could get from other sectors. So, and we have been able to develop a model as a commercial farming by smallholders. Like generally, it is very difficult to think about to be a commercial farmer or business-oriented farmer by the smallholders who has been holding less than 0.5 hectare of the land. So this is the way that we are encouraging rural youth, rural people to promote them to stay in rural areas by developing to themselves or to retain themselves in those respective communities. Next slide, please. We have been talking, discussing long time about this organic farming. So it is very difficult, very hard to think about this promotion of organic farming or developing to organic farming without the integration of the livestock. This is our one of very good learning. So this livestock, when we integrate the livestock along with the other farming like vegetable farming and other crop, so it will provide a significant amount of this fertilizer, organic manure to their soil. So it also provides opportunity to diversify the incomes and enterprises also, and it also promotes soil health and retaining and youth in farming. So because our farming, especially mostly in hilly areas, is a very small size. The farmers, they have a small piece of the land. So it's not possible to go for a big scale of, let's say, commercial farming. So this integration of livestock and crop is very important for the promotion of organic farming. Next slide, please. And we have been talking about rural revitalization or rural development. So generally nowadays people, even farmers and other people, youth, they don't want to work in the farm because the farming has been considered as inferior jobs because of that they are not getting sufficient income out of engaging in agriculture sector or farming sector. So we have been putting very high emphasis to improve the agriculture or community managed infrastructures like rural roads, and this is the community managed very low cost rustic store we call or cold store. The people, they could manage their potato and other seeds for the cold storage, in the cold storage, and all these irrigation. It's some example we have shown here. So improvement of this agriculture or community managed infrastructure is very important because there is a need of those kind of accessibility for the input supply and supply of these agriculture commodities or products outside of their village. So the improving the infrastructure also is helping to enhance their agribusiness and farming. So this is also very important for the this rural revitalization or to retain the people in the rural areas and to improve their lifestyle. So next slide, please. Other than we are also equally engaged in this climate resilient and disaster reduction practices. So RN has been actively working for the promotion of conservation of forestry, we call social forestry, sustainable forest management. And also we have been engaged in hardware and software kind of, yeah, please, kind of supports. So next is we have been focusing also for education and health, education for the quality education of the rural people living in rural. They are not assessed with a quality education, equally the health also. So this in general, what we have been doing is this health, education, livelihood, all components that we are focusing to build better in the rural areas. Could we go next one? Yeah, next one. This I already talked about this education. Yeah, this is something about a pictorial that I want to share about this how RRN is working, research and policy advocacy and network camping. There is I already shared that this rural development programs that we talk, we work more focus on natural, ecological, resource-based activities and sustainable agriculture, initiation and this political resource enhancement and entrepreneurship skills and improvement of health and nutrition of the people living in rural areas. Then in another hand, RN is working in the research and policy advocacy at a national and international level. The learning that we get from the grassroots community, from the field, that will be very helpful us to bring what is the situation, what is the people in grassroots level, they have been suffering sometime, that we do bring those kind of learning and issues for the policy, for research and policy advocacy at national and international level to the appropriate institutions and organizations, forums, and simultaneously the issues and the development issues that has been being developed and that has been developed in international forum by the UN Sustainable Development Goals, all those things that we transfer to the local communities. This is a very good advantage we do have. So we do have one lead to another. Thank you very much. This is all about RRM. We are putting our efforts toward the rural promotion of rural revitalization. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now it is 11:30 p.m. in Beijing, but we have over 2,500 viewers on Bilibili. So thank you very much. The next speaker will be Mr. Farul Tariq from Pakistan Kisan Rabita Committee. His presentation title is Land Rights, Feudalism, and Food Sovereignty. Please.
Thank you very much for inviting us. Let me introduce Pakistan Kisan Rabita Committee. That means Pakistan Peasants Coordination Committee. It's a network of 29 peasants and farmers organizations in Pakistan. And it was started in 2003 at a peasant conference. And since then, it has organized land rights campaign, food sovereignty, climate justice, and so on. And it is part of Lavia Campesina, the only organization from Pakistan who is member of Lavia Campesina. Now, let me say something on Pakistan agriculture and rural issues, and including the land rights. Now, in Pakistan, there is a feudal system still exists. Feudalism has not been abolished. So we see large land holding by big farmers. Thousands of acres of land has been in their, they own that land, and they are the one who dictate the social, political, and economical terms in the parliament and outside the parliament. Parliament of Pakistan is dominated by these rich feudal lords who control the rural life. Now, there has been 3 land reforms to address this question. The first land reform was 1959, and that was a military dictator, Ayub Khan, who introduced this. And in that land reforms, 1.59 acre of land was taken away from the landlords. But within few years, the land reforms became ineffective as the military dictatorship sided with these feudal lords. Now, why feudalism has not ended, that task still has to be completed, and we can't expect the parties of the rich to take up this issue because they are quite close relatives. So the capitalist class and the feudal class are relatives of each other. Capitalists are feudals and feudals are capitalists. So they have intermingled with each other. So they don't have any interest to eliminate the other like the European did in 18th and 19th of century. Now, the second land reforms was carried out by Mr. Bhutto, 1972, and that land reforms was quite effective, and over 1.5 million acre of land was taken, and 79,000 farmers got the land, and it was like a reformist government, and then it carried out the third land reforms, and that was 1977. And the land ownership was restricted in the irrigated area to only 100 acres of land, and in the unirrigated area it was 200 acres of land. But Bhutto was overthrown by another military dictator, General Ziaul-Haq, and in 1980 he tried to reverse the land reforms. And during that period, most of the feudal lords joined the military dictatorship, and these land reforms became ineffective. And finally, a Shariat court and Islamic court of Pakistan declared the land reforms as un-Islamic. And we are in the Supreme Court still to challenge that decision, and no decision is yet been made. So we are back to the square one. There is no land forms, there is no ceiling of land. So any person can own any piece of land in any part. And now Chinese are also coming for these farming. They are buying land, quite big land holdings. So are some of the Arab countries. So Pakistan has become like a place where the foreign countries and companies would come and buy land. And that's where we are also fighting against. Now, let me say a few words on the question of the agriculture. Agriculture is only 19% of the gross domestic product of Pakistan. So a small portion of that. And 42% of total 220 million population is living in the rural area. And 65% of land, total agriculture land at this time, is owned by only 15% of the larger farmers or feudal lords, and only 50% of the land are landless peasants in Pakistan. The major crops in Pakistan are wheat, cotton, rice, sugarcane, and maize. Because of the feudalism and large land holding, there is a food shortage, food insecurity. 62% population at this time is facing food insecurity in a country which is primarily an agriculture country. And also the prices of all these agriculture products has doubled, tripled in the recent periods. Most of the sugar factories are owned by these feudal lords. And during the last 3 years, the price of 1 kilo of sugar has gone up from 55 rupees to over 100 rupees in last 3 years. So is the price of wheat, and so is price of cotton and sugar cane and so on. Now, you can also imagine that 18,000 large landholders got almost 222 billion rupees of loan from the banks, while 1.72 million small farmers got only 183 billion loans from the government. So this is like the background we are working. There is a feudal lord culture. There is a lot of incident of cruelty against the tenants, the landless peasants, the rural poor, and so on. So one of our main campaign is on land rights. And one of the major campaign we launched during the last period, and that was 2001, was demanding land rights for those farmers who were working for military agriculture farms. Army Welfare Trust own a lot of land in Pakistan. Only in Punjab, 68,000 acre of land is owned by public sector, mainly the army. And I said in one of the meeting that if army want to do agriculture, give us your planes, we can fly them. So we can fly as good plane as you can do the agriculture. So I mean, military has nothing to do with agriculture, but they are right over there, and they've tried to kick out the tenants from 18,000 acre of land in one district of Punjab called Okada. So we started a campaign called Ownership or Death. And thousands of farmers, mainly women, they came in the forefront and they fought against the military. And in that campaign, 14 of our peasants were killed by the firing. Several hundred went to jail. Several dozen spent years in jail. I was also kicked out of the district several times. But we are still owning that land which military claim that they are the owner. We are not giving them any share of the crop which were given to them for over 100 years. So we said paid enough and no more. We will not pay anymore. So the 40% share which tenants were paying to the army, they refused to pay, and that still is the case after 20 years of struggle in one district. And this struggle has spread to other parts of Punjab, and we are really appreciating the struggle of Indian farmers who fought successfully against the three laws, which was implementation of new liberal agenda, which was opening up of agriculture markets to the whim and wish of the multinational companies, to the corporations. And Indian farmers for over 100 years, over 1 year fought well, and Modi government has to take back. So we in Pakistan did some solidarity actions with the Indian farmers from Pakistan. Now, our campaign for land rights is still going on. We are also demanding food sovereignty. Actually, we are the one who introduced the ideas of food sovereignty in one of the parliamentarian caucus of South Asian country parliamentarians in 2011 with the help of SAPE, South Asia Alliance for Poverty Eradication, where PKRC is an active part of SAPE. So we had South Asian Parliamentarian Forum, and then recently, 2 years earlier, we have Asia Europe People's Forum land caucus in Lahore, where over 20 foreign delegates participated on the issue of land rights and food sovereignty. And we spoke about just transition. We raised the issue of just transition in that area. And finally, I would like to say, we are now campaigning along this about sustainable natural crop system. This is a new system introduced for the last few years by some of our experts, and thousands of acres of land in Pakistan and Indian Punjab are now being raised on higher beds with less water, no fertilizer, no pesticide. We are totally campaigning against the usage of fertilizers and pesticides. We are not saying it organic farming, because we believe organic farming has also some commercial dimensions. So we are here raising sustainable natural agriculture system where we are training people and we are saying go back to the nature, claim the nature, raise that natural process, and that will help to develop less input and more output. So we are asking farmers to spend less while they are doing their crops and earn more when they are receiving the product. And that's only possible when we don't work as agents of these multinational seed companies, these multinational fertilizer companies, and these multinational pesticide companies and so on. So we're totally against them, and we are fighting against them, and we are raising issues. And on 17th of April, on the International Day of Peasants, which we celebrated in a village, we raised that issue, and a new area opened up. They said, we want to go on that. So that's where we are doing a silence revolution. It's not much in the mainstream media, but it's going in the minds and souls of the farmers listening to our ideas, and they say, yes, we will go on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you talk about the unfinished project of the land revolution in the last century, and now we have the new struggle in the 21st century. It's still land struggle. And the last but not least, we have friends from Bangladesh, Miss Kansi Fatima from Right to Food Bangladesh. She will experience the how to build the Right to Food network. Thank you very much.
Thanks to all the speakers and those who are listening to me. My name is Kanis Fatima. I am working with the Right to Food Bangladesh, and I'm very pleased to join you all here on behalf of Right to Food Bangladesh. This is a network of large number of CSOs farmers, women and youth organization, those striving to ensure right to food and nutrition for all. We are actually conducting lobby and advocacy to accelerate the legal framework on right to food in Bangladesh. Alongside the network is also working on agriculture, safe food, land and water issue. So let me share about Right to Food Bangladesh network. This network emerged in 2015 following the South Asia Right to Food conference, which is held in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And the conference was an event where critical significance in the context of the people's right to food in this part of the South Asia region. Then we raised the slogan that right to food is a human right, food is not a charity. So this conference 2015 commenced with a grand inaugural ceremony with the gorgeous presence of our Honorable Prime Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. So since the inception, beside countrywide campaign and policy advocacy, network has been generating evidence through survey research by own along with secondary sources of the information to analyze actually the real scenario. As a result, the campaign made. Can I continue?
Please do that, Kanis.
Okay, thank you. So the earlier I have shared that along with the food rights related issue, the network is also working with social safety net programs. That is the main program of poverty eradication and food security by the government of Bangladesh, sustainable agriculture, safe food, food wastage and food crisis. These are the issues with the working with the network. Responsible food habit and consumers' behavior, indigenous people's rights in social safety net programs, institutional support for women farmers, women and girls' right to food and nutrition, small producers, local small entrepreneurs, and other marginalized people's interest as part of responsible investment. SDGs 8 5-year plan, that is the government plan of our mainstreaming development program by Bangladesh. national, and this network has been working since 2015, and WAVE Foundation is a non-government organization which actually has been providing secretariat support of this network. So today I'm going to briefly highlight some issues, challenges and opportunity for the future of agriculture, which is absolutely, we think that has the close relation of ensuring right to food for all. Firstly, I just share with you the state of food in Bangladesh, which is the agriculture sector, you know, that has been considered as an important regulator in eradicating hunger and poverty in Bangladesh. And after independence, the country's rice production has more than tripled to more than 3.5 crore tons. So Bangladesh is now at the door to be self-reliant for producing fish and eggs as the key source of protein, which is also part of our agriculture that is related with livestock. Though the volume of daily calorie intake and average protein intake have been increased, but regularity from the decade of 1970, Bangladesh faces a number of critical challenges to ensure food and nutrition security for more than 16 crore people. Some of them are follow. I just mentioned that increase of population growth and income discrimination. So lack of laborers due to migration, adverse impact of the climate change, and of course barriers to get safe and nutrition food is also a major challenges for Bangladesh. So, and the new disaster, which is known by everyone, COVID-19 pandemic, has put all these in a bigger challenges. You know that Bangladesh has a large, the number of people in Bangladesh at risk of falling below the poverty line has increased by about 55% induced by COVID-19. On the other hand, around 2 crore 45 lakh people have become new poor in the country due to COVID-19. And adding these newly poor people, the total number of poor people is now 6.5 to 7 crore. So poverty is directly linked to the food insecurity. We all know that, and the poor families are deprived from essential nutrition and health service due to lack to their availability. So all these things becoming more challenges for Bangladesh, and the food that are on their list fail to meet the demand for quality and micronutrient. So this is the common scenario, and against this backdrop, our government has taken some specific measure to ensure food insecurity, include the National Food and Nutrition Policy to 2020. These policy and plans are in place for ensuring food and nutrition security and eradicating poverty. All government food assistance programs are under existing social safety net program, and the projects are mostly undertaken these programs on a part-time, seasonal, or short-term basis. So the amount paid is also a very minimum and not enough. The selection process of beneficiary under this project is also improper. Moreover, there are irregularities and misuse in distribution level. So lots of challenges are there. So the progress is not satisfactory in line with the goal of National Social Security Strategy. So this is the common scenario in Bangladesh for the state of food in Bangladesh. And the another challenge is impact of corporate trade on the food system in Bangladesh. And you know that agriculture and biodiversity of Bangladesh are the ruthless victims of the seed policies by the multinational company. The process of introducing GM golden rice, tomato, cotton is underway. In other words, Bangladesh now became a fertile ground for GM trade by the multinational agro corporation. So as a result, there is a risk of losing the natural process of conservation and production of native seeds. Thus, biodiversity, plants, animals, microorganisms, cereal to genes of Bangladesh, South Asia and low-income countries of the world have been grabbing by the corporate aggregation. And another situation which is induced by COVID-19, I just shared a couple of minutes ago that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused adverse and disproportionate impacts on Bangladesh diverse section of population. Vulnerabilities and inequalities have increased. However, COVID-19's waves of destruction seems to be fading, but it has inflicted their own kind of despair on humanity, imposing a destructive impact on Bangladesh's socio-economic fabric. Particularly the whole food system, including agriculture sector, is affected, severely affected by the COVID-19. And according to a recent FAO report, the title Asia Pacific Food Security and Nutrition Review 2021, Bangladesh is one of the states of acute food insecurity in the Asia Pacific region, where a total of 52 million people in Bangladesh, that actually the 1.9% of the total population, suffer from moderate to severe food insecurity. So this has been a stumbling block in achieving SDG 1 and 2, which is related with poverty and hunger. And another thing is the Green Revolution connected in the decade of 1960 in Bangladesh proved to be environmentally unsustainable agricultural practice, which has caused adverse impact on our soil, land, water, and other natural resources, endangering ecosystem actually, and biodiversity, not only in Bangladesh specific, it's a common scenario in South Asia region because of using excessive chemical fertilizer and pesticide, uncontrolled and unsustainable irrigation system that actually make it more difficult to make our agricultural system sustainable and climate resilient. And so COVID has taught us we need to return back to agroecology, and it can be a solution for promoting small-scale farmers and family farming and achieving a sustainable, equitable, and secure food system that actually leading towards establishing right to food for all and food sovereignty along with the climate change adaptation and mitigation by enhancing resilience. The another thing is a large number of youth working in informal sectors lost their job due to the COVID-19 pandemic and were compelled to return to their villages. So back in home, a large portion of this youth have been engaged in their family farming, willing to establish themselves as agro-entrepreneurs. So to capitalize this opportunity, these young agro-entrepreneurs should be encouraged and supported by government initiative and CSOs who can eventually play a substantial role in agriculture development and promote agroecology. That is the new reality in Bangladesh, which is created by COVID-19 pandemic. The another thing is we have been experienced by working with the Right to Food Bangladesh network, that digitalization in agriculture value chain, in production, harvesting, processing, marketing, financing, every era of this value chain system needs effective inclusion regardless of their gender, races, and ethnicity identity. But COVID-19 also triggered supply and demand challenges. So another is one of the biggest challenges in agriculture marketing for farmers is building business models to incorporate direct to consumer marketing. The other key challenges is creating an online presence through website and social media pages to connect with and sell to consumer. So if we think about this, we must promote digitalization meaningfully for small scale farmers and farmer friendly agriculture apps. So all these things, the network has been always trying to building solidarity and connect with others' initiative, thoughts, practices. As part of this, the network has been organized a series of campaign and webinar in solidarity with People's Peace Summit as opposed to the Food System Summit, AFS. You know that no hunger is the second goal among the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which is adopted in 2015. And in September 2009, the United Nations declared next decade as the decade of action by reviewing the progress of SDG and strengthening its program. As part of the decade of action, UN has convened a Food System Summit in 2021. There are 5 action tracks. You know that ensure access to safe food and other things. As part of this process, Right to Food Bangladesh has been organized a month-long campaign, including multifaceted activities that has a part of the CSM, Civil Society and Indigenous Peoples Mechanism, and CSM for relation with the Committee on All Food Security, CFS, the largest international space of civil society organization that established in 2010 and working to eradicate food security and malnutrition are good that the FSS, which actually organized by UN, is grounded neither in human and people's rights nor in system change for justice. It is basically dominated by corporate interests. It aims at replacing international public institutions with multi-stakeholders platform. It refers to the right to food in one of its action track, but this reference is marginal. The rights of women, indigenous peoples, workers, peasants, pastoralists, the landless, small-scale family farmers, fisher folk, urban food insecure, consumers, youth, and future generation are clearly not at the center of this summit. So for this ground, Right to Food Bangladesh has opposed to the FSS summit and also joined with the pre-food system summit, which is actually organized by CSM and CFS during 25 to 27 July 2021. Another solidarity event that was actually going Asia Pacific Social Forum that was actually part of a World Social Forum in Mexico, and today is also a solidarity event with you. So these programs, centering this program, Right to Food Bangladesh has organized campaign, webinar and other event for solidarity this initiative, and this all program are government to make political commitment to recognize the right to food as a fundamental rights and demand to take steps by the step to enable every human being to have their own food with dignity. So and Right to Food thinks that this is the time to connect with each other, to share with each other, and to build a network is other. So for doing this, we are taking initiative to organize a conference by the end of this year on South Asia Right to Food and Sustainable Agriculture. And as you all aware that since the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic that has triggered similar impact and challenges not only in Bangladesh, overall in the South Asia countries. So we cordially invite to all of you, your friends and fellows, and the participation of regional and national representative at the event will be appreciated. And alongside CSO across Asia and the Pacific involved with the process are humbly invited to the event. And we believe that for a better world with a sustainable future for our upcoming generation, we need better production, better nutrition, and of course, better environment and better life for all without leaving anyone behind, with a view towards achieving all these diseases within the expected timeline. And we will raise some critical and important issue through organizing the South Asia Sustainable Right to Food and Sustainable Agriculture Summit. If we want to move from conventional agriculture to sustainable agriculture or climate resilient agriculture, we need more government support in all areas in terms of policy, institutional and necessity infrastructure. Support is very important. And second, we will be raise another critical and important issue. To promote agroecology, we need to develop common understanding of agroecology at local and national level, of course. Invest in agroecological research, develop policies and governance mechanism, that can actually articulate agriculture, food, health, social and environmental policies, and reinforcement, communication and alliances to bring representative of farmers, other food producers, small-scale producers, CSOs, researchers, and concerned citizens together to enhance the social movement for a sustainable food system. And the third is the enabling policy and concrete action plan from government required to explore high potential of young agro-entrepreneurs and fulfill their needs at every stage of agriculture value chain. They need training, incubation, mentoring, startup, credit support, market linkage, and other areas. And Right to Food Bangladesh is constantly carrying out lobby and advocacy towards formulating the Right to Food Act and to acknowledge right to food as a human right as part of the policy. Against this backdrop, we are trying to promotion of the right to food for all and contribute formulating more strategic approach in the advancement of the right to food Bangladesh. We are going to organize such kind of conference. So finally, we assist policymakers in planning and to strengthen diverse section of agriculture, agroecology, along with trade and agriculture policies, to support small-scale farmers and providing strategic direction to accelerate information technology, digitalization, and innovation to meet SDG target by 2030. So Right to Food Bangladesh has been working with thousands of CSO networks since 2015 to till date, and we are always trying to connect each other, and we are always trying to Right to Food Bangladesh want to share with others their thoughts, their idea, their practice, their struggle, and still it is continue. And we hope that the conference is going to be held by the end of this year. We will again connect with all of you. And I again invite to all of you to join with us, to bring your thought, to bring your idea, and then we will be able to create a different South Asia, different country. Thank you very much for being patient and for hearing me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have one question for Mr. Tari. India and Pakistan do not have good relations between the governments. How is the solidarity among farmers group between the two countries?
That is true that Indian and Pakistani government are expressing enmity on issues which are really not important to ordinary people. But there is a great wish of Pakistani and Indian people to people contact, farmers to farmers contact. There's a great urge. People want to see them, meet them, talk to them. It's the same culture, same background. In Punjab, it's the same language. So when Punjab farmers started their campaign against new liberal agenda, Punjabi farmers in Pakistani side were jubilant, and we had a tractor march in Lahore near the Wagah border to express our solidarity. And we had several webinars where main leaders of Indian Farmer Association, Indian farmers like Takeshi and others spoke in our webinar. And at Lavia Campesina, we meet each other, sometime in Kathmandu, sometime in Sri Lanka. So we want to keep our relationship strengthened, and we want to bring the problems of the farmers in both countries into the knowledge of each other, so we could express the great concept of solidarity, which is the only effective thing we can express at present.
Thank you. Yeah, because it's really a long discussion. We have over 4 hours, but however, it is in Beijing and on Bilibili, we still have over 2,970 viewers. So they are very, very energetic because to learn many experience from different areas of Asia. So we would continue to facilitate the solidarity and also among the South-South countries. Thank you very much. And in the end, I will show the song of Earthworm, and then to pay tribute to all farmers and peasants in the world. So thank you very much.
轻轻地将石板路上的你捧回田间，柔软的身体一伸一缩钻进地里面，人们说你什么也看不见，你的感觉超越我们的视线。人们说你什么也看不见，你的感觉超越我们的视线。夜色下，你精心挑选，拖走那个叶片。你越多，泥土越健康松软，陪伴大地5亿年，默默耕耘，不紧不慢，陪伴大地5亿年，默默耕耘，不紧不慢。脚下的世界也像天空一样遥远吗？我知道这么少，而你如此无限。黑暗不是光明的反面，雨水不是来自上天。脚下的世界也像天空一样遥远吗？我知道这么少，而你如此无限。黑暗不是光明的反面，雨水不是来自上天，雨水不是来自上天。
Jungkook, are you still there?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Say something.
I'm not qualified to say something, but I have been enriched and feel encouraged all the endeavors for reviving and reconstruct farming sectors which are brutally marginalized by the market power or liberal order. So I want to find someone who say solidarity activities in reviving rural area with the young people, young Korean farmers, but because of time shortage and translation issue, I couldn't find the relevant one, but the older spirit, even the songs you have composed, shared with our Korean young farmers, so who really want to make formal development policy, make it more sustainable, and for their own future, they want to construct more right-based, not only food, but also animal right, also more eco-friendly way of future orientation. So I conveyed all those presentations and the discussions to them into Korean. Thank you again. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I think we will need to overcome this language issue so that we can hear from more of the farmers and people on the ground. So thank you again. And Jungkook, please go to bed. It's past 1 o'clock.